You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Broadcasting live from inside your mom's pants. Damn, it's hot in here. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Cha-cha-cha-cha. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Bill. And every week I bring some people. This week we got my buddy Tom.
Is your last name really?
Yeah, but I can't spell it.
So that's what's on your birth certificate?
Yeah, but like it's long.
Oh, Bill, it's just spelled the way it sounds.
It's phonetic. It's phonetic. We also got Uncle Jay.
Fuck you.
That's fair. That's fair. And Brother Bob.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
On the guitar.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear you? Are you coming through all right in your headphones? We all kind of shifted around this week, so if you need me to turn up your volume, you might be on...
If you guys couldn't tell, Ed...
There's a little room at the table today because we're missing somebody.
Yeah, Eddie's not here. He's at a wedding. He's having fun at
It's
a
all right.
wedding.
I'm sitting in the seat.
Free
I'm fine.
booze.
Hopefully he's
Isn't that
fucked
what
up.
Jay should be?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Dom, you said something?
I just said hopefully he's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not yet. I think this is probably right about the time he's probably making his speech, though. He is the best man, so...
Oh, boy, he's the guy making that speech?
Yeah.
I did that once myself. I'm
Me too.
not going to lie.
Yeah.
I did as well. I did a best man speech.
Let me ask you guys, do you remember, because I know he was going to have the night before they do the dinner, you know what I mean? I forget what they call it, the practice run, whatever.
Right.
Rehearsal dinner?
Rehearsal dinner, thank you. Do you remember making your speech there too?
No.
Right? Because he was like, no, well, I have to make it twice.
No.
And I think it's so that she can try and catch anything crazy he might say and put a kibosh on it. I've tried to warn him. I'm like, I don't think that's what I did. I don't know if it's everybody, but I know that I didn't do it the night before. Like, it comes around to me, like, okay, now this would be the part where, like, you would do your speech, and then I did say something funny because we were in the moment.
Right.
But we didn't linger on it. Like, we just kind of moved along. Like,
No,
Right,
I
right.
mean, when I was...
You just kind of mention, oh, this is where this happens,
Yeah.
and you move on.
Yeah, it's like, this is the part where I'll embarrass the crap out of you. And she's like, you better not. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
No, I was a best man at my cousin's wedding.
Okay.
And I knew that I had to say something, but I just winged it. I just went up there.
No,
and,
but I
you
remember,
know.
I know, but on the rehearsal dinner,
No.
definitely not,
No.
right?
I said,
No.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Definitely no.
Because I was trying to tell him, I'm like, nah, buddy, I don't think you really do that during the rehearsal. You know?
Well, I would think that from family to family, it
Probably might vary.
It might vary,
Custom, in a way.
but I think if you're doing it in the practice, it's because you want to make sure.
Yeah, like, I don't know about
You
this
know,
guy,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So either way, it's good to put that in his head.
Yeah. I told him, I was like,
Mess
you
with
should
him.
write one thing, like something kind of crazy, and tell her, no, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And she'd be like, no way. And then you come there the next day, and then, like, you do some sappy thing and look like the hero.
Well, my cousin was a little nervous.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Some people, man, you know?
Yeah. So,
Well, I'm not going to lie,
If
Jay.
Ed wants to mess with his sister, he has, like, when his comes turn for his speech, he has a male stripper come through the door.
Oh, there you go.
Or something
There you go.
like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dancing in the background while he's doing his totally serious speech.
And you know him. He'll keep going. He'll do it totally straight face.
he won't stop until it's done either.
He'd be like, I don't understand. Is there a problem? Is everything all right? Something behind me? He'll play that bit.
no, he'll be noble. He'll be fine.
Absolutely. He'll be so straight
He
laced.
may even cry.
We would be bored waiting for him to do something really crazy. You'd be like, okay.
That's why he should bring me along to these things.
That's why he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's also why he doesn't. So this is episode 126. We've gathered here for you today to take joy in this unholy matrimony. That is the four of us hanging out.
Hence the word unholy.
And so, you know, what we
Dysfunction
do.
alert. Dysfunction alert.
There's a lot of-
Warning.
there's yeah. There's a lot of that. But, you know, we do the news. We do some email. We've got a chat room game coming at you in a second. We got some reviews this week. People want to ever send us emails, they can do it by sending it to podcast@wickedtheory.com. This week, our little heads ups for people is Sarah Netzley, our pal, who is now over on DC TV report actually popped up on Gotham Lights this week.
I know. I listened to it.
So you can check that out and see what's going on over there. She's hanging out with Steph. She's Sarah's part of the fill-in for Heno, the rotating fill-in. I know that I think I'm on the short list for that at some point.
Yeah,
so
I heard. Yeah,
I'm already 2 episodes behind on
but
Gotham.
they like to go through the people who actually watch the show on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's why.
First,
You gotta go with
what
the
I mean?
solid. You know?
So yes, you're on the short list, but you're at the bottom of the short list.
There's a reason
because-
I'm on the short list, the pencil.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right.
That's why I was on the.
No, you're just like number 5 on the top 3. You know,
Fair enough.
And
And
then
they
they go through those 3, and then when those 3 can't do it, they go to 4 and 5.
right. And they're like, could you watch those episodes today so you can hang out tonight?
That's why they put me on the off season.
The off season.
There you go.
episode.
Well, we don't have to talk about Gotham. Let's bring Jay in.
No, it was What's Your Work Part 2.
Basically,
Right.
you talk about me for an hour. Right.
Well, it was Heno asking certain questions he wanted answered.
When you and Ed get into those fights, are they for real? I'm like,
Did you ever do a 3-way J?
If you ever need help, let me know. All right. With anything.
Let me
with
know.
anything.
Is Heno in the chat room right now?
No, I don't think so. Did we miss it? Tom, did we not introduce you?
No, we did.
Okay.
I'm
fair.
here. Hi.
No.
Hello.
I just want to make sure. No, I got a note from Palmer. Then no introduction for Dom. All right.
That's because he's listening to the other podcast.
He mustn't have been listening.
And well, he is listening because he's actually letting me know that episode 4 of Gotham Lights for this season is actually going to be me and Agent Palmer. So I think I am.
So you don't hit on his girlfriend.
Yeah, I think so. I think I
something like
can't be
that.
trusted or something like
right.
that.
Yeah.
So like I said, the DC TV report is actually up and in effect. This week they covered Lucifer and Gotham. So people go check that out at DC TV report. Just do a search on that. You can find it anywhere. You got a Google, a Twitter account. It's on Google. It's iTunes, Stitcher, all that good stuff. Also, this upcoming Friday is Friday the 13th.
Yes, sir.
If you weren't paying attention, folks.
I'm scared, Bill. I'm scared.
I think there's a reason to be.
I'm very afraid.
I forget what I think it's triskaidiscophobia. Is that it? The fear of the number 13?
Triskaidiscophobia?
Yeah, something like that. And, it's
Triskaidiscophobia.
that or the fear of clowns.
Well, here's the thing. Look it
That's
up.
a fear
Jack.
of Triscuits.
What do you look it up and you try and pronounce
Do I
it?
look like Ed? Do you? I don't do that.
Do I ever tell Ed what to do? No, he just does it. So I know you don't look like Ed because I wouldn't know how to say it.
What'd you say? Triscuit phobia?
Fear of the
Actually,
number 13.
it's-
I'm doing a
Triska-
Google search, and it says that that's actually a fear of Zack Snyder movies.
Any fear that Ed has. Well, how do you? What's it
It's
look like?
Bob starting.
Fair enough. What's it look like there, Dom? I think you got it.
Triskaidiscophobia.
See what I'm saying?
Triskaidiscophobia.
Gesundheit.
Right.
What's your Triscaids?
It's either triskaidiscophobia or
Just
Tris-
say
Tris-
Triscuits.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Fear of Triscuits.
Triscuits.
Fear of Nabisco products. All right. So my point being, though, to point this out, that it's Friday the 13th is right around the corner, is because we're going to be doing a Horrorween special. What does that mean? I don't know. Now, for the most part, we'll see who shows up and how it goes down, but for the most part, it's going to be me and Jay for sure. And we're going to go over the greatest things in horror, some lists, some personal favorites,
A few laughs.
a few laughs, and maybe even a special Uncle Jay giveaway.
Yeah, more details on that tomorrow. I'll provide a video.
Ooh, we're stretching this one out, folks.
Yeah.
We're going to make it... Don't get your hopes up too high.
Right.
But yeah, he's giving away a little something.
Just watch Twitter.
Yeah, just watch out for Jay's Twitter account. He's going to put up a little video tomorrow, let you know what he's giving away. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Couldn't have said it better
I
myself.
didn't really want to say it, but I had to mumble it at least. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
That's, yeah. You're good. You're good. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll be promoting it. So that'll be a special thing, 9 o'clock
9
Eastern
p.m.
Standard.
Friday.
Eastern Standard Time for that one.
It'll be fun. Be a lot of laughs.
So, I don't even know what that word is. Agent Palmer put it in the little chat room here. I'm not even fucking with it anymore. The fear of 13. Okay. Wow.
You told me to look something up, and now I got a box of Triscuits looking at me.
We'll share with the class then. Cash! Because those are some of my favorites.
Yeah, we grew up with Triscuits in the house. Our dad was a very healthy eater.
Triscuits and sardines, man.
and scotch.
Oof. I used to eat them all the time, too, like that.
Triscuits and peanut butter.
Yeah.
They were good with a nice sliver of sharp cheddar cheese on it.
Yeah.
Sharp cheddar cheese.
Because it tastes just like cardboard, so it don't matter.
Right. It's all about what you have to put
It's
stuff
just
on it.
yeah, it's just cardboard with salt.
Sharp cheddar cheese. Charlemagne.
Put a little Gouda on that thing.
Take it easy there.
Some cheese whiz.
Hanging out with Sean Carteret. All right.
Real desperate. You make them
on my
Parmesan.
face.
Triscuits Parmesan.
Triscuit, that's the best way to go. I actually wolfed down a box of Triscuits. I bought some of that pre-sliced pepperoni the other day.
Yeah.
It didn't even last. My ass is constantly complaining to me now. It's like a little too much fiber at once. Thank you. I just thought I'd share.
Yeah, I'm sure all the salt wasn't any good for you either.
That's the best at the
pepperoni.
bottom of the bag. All the loose salt that gets all shaken down there.
No, a sliver of cardboard is wheat thins.
Yeah.
I would think.
And then baked and pressed into like a hard chip that feels like it'll cut the roof of your mouth right open if you chomp on it wrong.
Oh, like a rice cake. It's like styrofoam.
Yeah, it's one
Exactly.
of these things. You can't
like
have too
puffed
many. All of a
styrofoam.
sudden, the roof of your mouth hurts. It's
Yeah.
like, this is not properly.
Throw some mutts on that,
It's
huh?
not properly designed, this food source. All right, so let's enough about the food. All right,
I think
let's take a
rice
look and
cakes-
see who is hanging out in the chat room. Do we have anybody?
It looks like Wesley.
Wesley might be in here.
Wesley and Palmer.
I believe we.
Well, Obi Rom's not our buddy. Our new buddy, Obi Rom's not there.
Nope, we got no Obi Ram.
Yeah.
It's just Steph and Wesley this week. And you know why? Because Podtoberfest is going.
Podtoberfest.
Because Podtoberfest is going
Yeah.
on.
Which I'm taking over next week.
All right, next year.
Next
Next year.
year.
You got time to plan. Yeah. So it's like
I want in on that, Jay.
Oh, definitely.
I'm out.
You want to see off the rails, my friend?
Oof, I'm out. Well, I'll tell you what. I did a couple of hours with them over there, and they're doing it live right now. If Wesley's really listening, he should probably go over there and maybe, see if he can drag people over here or something. Like,
Yeah.
Wes, let's see what
Go
you
to
can do.
work.
Go over there and just be like, hey, just so people know, there is a whole other podcast going on if they want to take a break. And see if you get some people to pop up into the chat room over here for a hot
Exactly.
minute. We have nothing to offer them, though. Just let them know that. Like, they get what they get. No promises.
All right.
Well, maybe one of us should pop over there on their chat.
I mean, hey, that could
And
probably
we can-
happen too, but
know.
let's not get crazy with
No,
the
you
audio.
don't want to mess with them.
No, I'm messing with them.
I don't
care.
mean with the audio, but just go in the chat room.
No,
and-
yeah, but the thing is, I'm just kind of saying, if you do go, don't forget to mute.
sounds a little
mute
quiet out there.
I always mute it.
Fair enough.
Sounds a little quiet out there.
I don't like listening to podcasts. What do you think?
I know. Trust me, I
I'm a
know you
nerd or
don't listen to podcasts.
No, I'm kidding.
But I'm sure
Actually,
people are
I've been
going to
listening to this one.
To this one?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
The people will
I listen
listen
back at least to the first
tomorrow.
few minutes.
What happened, Jay?
People will listen tomorrow Monday, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody's, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they got all the time in the world money because they're not going to work.
that's true. Well, yeah,
A lot of them.
yeah,
like me.
bastards. Yeah, bastards. Anyway, yeah, I gotta work.
Fox.
Yeah, right. Me and Dom gotta work.
Jay's not working Monday.
No, I'm not working Monday.
When was the last time you worked on Monday? No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's not get into all that. But before Bob gets all set up with that, we are going to jump into the news in a second. So I will wrap up by saying, yes, next Friday we are going to do a live Halloween special. We're going to try and make it fun. We'll see what happens.
It will be fun.
Fair
Fuck that
enough.
trash
Fair
shit.
enough.
You
And,
coming, Dom?
On Friday?
Yeah.
I've thought about it, but I'm not sure if I can hang in the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't have too much horror movie cred.
I just need somebody to say, cool.
Well,
All right.
you don't even have to be here for that. You could just Skype in for
Yeah,
that.
Skype.
I'll just come chill and I'll
Yeah,
fucking.
We'll put you on a sound clip and just play like cool. Just get a nice
Okay.
random audio of Dom.
You'll be surprised if we're going and you'll jump right the fuck in.
How big is that fucking cigar you
This is a
got?
different one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you're smoking Bill Cosby's cock right now.
Well, he did give me a roofie. Uncle Jay. Well,
Now I can't look at that cigar without thinking of Bill Cosby's cock. I'm sorry.
It's all about the tippity tip, the flism and the flasm.
Oh, hey, speaking of Bill Cosby's cock, I think we got some news.
You better watch out for the flism and the flasm.
the jism and the blism.
Well, Comic-Con is this weekend, so...
We're not there.
and we're not there, so we're not talking about it. No,
We have spies.
I think
a lot of the... What are you going to say?
I
Talk to
think
me.
we should do a fucking Wicked Theory takeover of New York Comic Con next year.
yeah.
What is that? What are you thinking? Like, what is, in what manner? Like, we just kind of go down there and bum rush our way into the building?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we
Just fucking.
No. Oh. Wait. We'll do it.
Sneak.
We'll do it dressed as Guar.
Well, Bob's
I'm
got his
lost.
costume.
I'm
Bob's got
lost.
his costume.
Nobody would suspect.
Until we run into Guar. Until we run into Guar there, and they're like, "These are costumes."
Just to get inside, and then we just strip down to our dirty underwear like the real guys in Guar.
Yeah, just
And walk around.
Whatever happens will be thrown out 10 minutes after.
Yeah, trust me. We won't have enough BO.
That's right, but it'll make a
They'll
great
know
pie.
it's not. They'll know we're not the real ones.
Yeah, they stink. That place stinks, man.
I've heard that, huh?
No, just them. Guar, the guys from Guar.
Oh, the I'm
they
talking about
tend-
Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, well, it can.
I've heard
Yeah.
Comic-Con is a stinky
is.
place to be.
I don't know.
All cons are really.
Yeah, the smaller the venue actually, because it's like less ventilated. Jacob Javits has got a lot of space and a lot of ventilation going on.
Yeah.
So when I went year before last, that didn't seem to be a thing. The real thing that drove me crazy was the moms with their little babies in the strollers at an overpacked convention.
Right.
Like, there's no reason to bring a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old. I'm sorry, I get it. You want to go out with your kid. Well, this is not the kind of place I think you take a little kid.
With
Because
half-naked women walking around and fucking like.
granted, the kid's 2-year-old.
but
He'll never
Bill-
see that. It's just about, like, you are now kind of being an issue in the floor of
Yeah.
the con, getting around.
Right.
But
Yes.
Bill, that's the way they get to show how hardcore nerd they are.
Fair enough. Like, I'll come here no matter what. I couldn't get a babysitter, but I'm here.
Look at me, I'm here and I'm breastfeeding.
They dress up their kid as an Ewok.
Not
and
me,
shit.
but you know what I mean.
No, I didn't give you that look for that. I was just thinking, like, I was picturing a mom breastfeeding, like, all these nerd boys, like, trying not to look like a circle around her.
Like
Guys
a-
pretending they're not noticing.
Cover- with a face cloth
if
covering
you
the
talk
kid's
about
head.
anytime there's a girl at a con, they're gonna notice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big thing now. I mean, I think at any con now, I think there's more women into that geek shit now.
Yeah, well, it's not as,
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's
not
a-
as unusual. It's fair enough to say.
Yeah, I've actually worked with a few girls and who were like really into it. I was like, and that surprised me.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's happening, folks. Get used to it.
I'll just show up there with a cigar, a bottle of scotch.
That's your costume. I'm cosplaying as Jay. What the fuck?
I'm fucking Uncle Jay, bitch.
Well, I think we should all come as Jay, then you have to come as somebody else. Which is basically
My
just
vote is
Jay,
Ed.
still just Jay in a Darth Vader costume.
I have the same wardrobe as you do, pretty much.
It's all the same fucking.
Sweat jackets in the car.
There you go. So let's get into this actual.
Now that you
news.
mention it,
What's
I'm,
up?
I'm just looking at the both of you guys, and yeah, you're right.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you one thing.
I mean, jeans and
I
a
have
t-shirt.
yet to see. How long has Jay been coming here? Jay, how many episodes do you think he did offhand? 30, 40?
No,
No.
because no, but I would say about 20, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. We're creeping.
25.
We're getting in there. Right. But never seen this guy wear anything but a black T-shirt. Just saying.
No,
Just saying.
because they're either dark blue or black.
Right. That's
true.
it. That's it. No light colors in your world.
I was never a light colored T-shirt guy. Never, ever.
I'm guessing Johnny Cash was an influence.
Yes, he was very much so. Yeah.
Usually light colors are nothing but trouble anyway.
I think because one time I wore a white T-shirt, and I was in like a dark bar with the fucking lights, and
And people's blood shows up like so
It's-
good. You
it's
wouldn't
like-
think so.
It's like
but-
retarded. I
That's
said,
All right.
On those occasions, that's why you wear red.
right.
All right, let's get to the fucking
Sorry.
news here.
All
So
right.
that covers New York Comic Con.
There you go. That's our Comic-Con coverage for this year, and we're done.
Next year's will be a little bit better. I think.
Yeah. So,
They talked about comics.
so oddly enough, we actually don't have a lot in the news from Comic-Con. Like a lot of the stuff that came out is some trailer releases and some smaller stuff about individual shows. It doesn't really feel like there was like a lot that was a big highlight as of yet.
Was there a new Hulk Ragnarok? I mean Thor Ragnarok? Trailer?
Thor Narok, Hulk Narok.
Yeah.
No, but one of the things I was going to get into is that probably what would have been the big thing this weekend for Marvel is the Punisher panel. So, in light of everything that happened in Las Vegas last week, Marvel decided to pull the Punisher panel and cancel the panel, and which is probably in fair taste. But what some people are kind of speculating in the rumor, not really a rumor mill, but like inside track, is that Netflix was going to release the series as soon as the panel was over. Like they were gonna let everybody watch the first episode, and then as soon as it was over, just unleash the episodes for everybody, and which explains why like they were kind of keeping the release date in mystery, like when are they gonna do it, and it kind of felt like it's gotta be around the corner. They keep putting out trailers for it.
Yeah.
So and so the question is now, it seems like they've probably delayed the release of Punisher. So how long will they have it? They'll be pushing it back. Like how long, is enough? I get the kind of whole like let's not have the big public episode thing, and let's push it off. But if you're going more than a month, like if you're pushing it more than into halfway into November, well, then I think you're overdoing it. Like some people are like, oh, like I saw some articles and they were like, oh, December or February would probably feel right, and I'm like, that far out? I think we kind of, as much as we're desensitized to everything, I feel like we'll kind of this sensitive time period after Vegas will kind of be a wash into next month at this time, and safe for something like this to kind of just be released. It doesn't. You're not going to get all the ballyhoo and the big buzz now. So
yeah, I just think it's a show.
Yeah.
And the average person is smart enough to know it's a show.
Right.
I mean, you turn on your TV and then you pick through other things. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's really necessary to do this. If it happened the day it was supposed to drop originally,
certainly something
then
like
that's
that.
different. But now, I mean, when was it supposed to originally drop?
Well, that's the thing. They never said they were keeping it a secret. So the word is from the inside that they were going to release it at the end of the panel at Comic-Con. So it would have been up right now because the panel was supposed to be today.
Right.
So the question is like, well, since no one knows how far they're going to push it back, because they never released the date publicly, they could push it back and just be like, oh, that was always the date. So I'm just saying, if we have to wait past November, that's way more than you need.
I was under the impression it was coming out in November.
That was
So
early speculation was like it seemed like November might be a decent time because of the way it was tracking with the trailer releases and the fact that like Veterans Day comes out is November 11th, and that is also Frank's a veteran in this, and we're playing that up. So it might have seemed like a just give it a push. Just give it a push in. It's all right.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I gotta tape it up or something. So with that, that was an original theory and speculation, but they were keeping it so redacted because that was part of the promotional material. It was like everything was blurred out or crossed out like a file, like a covert file.
Right.
I wasn't aware there was no street date for it.
Yeah.
Well, Palmer makes a good point in the chat here. He says that Netflix might want to let Stranger Things season 2 breathe first, which is a good point.
Yeah, and let it get its
because
attention.
that's coming, right? I mean.
That's good at the end of October.
Yeah.
Well, now that they're doing this, now they're holding this off. I'm just thinking, put it out on Halloween.
Well, that's the thing. They got Stranger Things already queued up to kind of take advantage of the Halloween Stranger Things 2. So chances are that they want to because that's a big animal of its own. And rather have their two biggest releases that are coming up fight for each other over the same week or two. Like give it 2 or 3 weeks in between. So I feel like November 11th. Roundabouts is probably when we're gonna. I hope that we get it.
Oh, you think it's gonna be on that special day?
No. Hey, I'm not saying there's anything special.
It's Veterans Day,
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying mere moments ago. Is that that's what the theory was because it was Veterans Day, and since Frank he's a veteran. He's been in some wars. So Jay put this in the notes. I have no wheels on it, but Kate Winslet has been added to Avatar 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's kind of big, though.
For Avatar, but not really because it's Avatar. So it's like, yes, you should have top-notch people in it.
Well, I'm
that's
thinking.
Sigourney Weaver in the last one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying because there's a lot of people now speaking negatively about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of rougher buzz.
And she is like one of the hottest actresses right now. In terms of
Yeah.
She's she's definitely top tier. I don't know how hot and buzzy she is because she's been off the radar a little bit, not in the big super upfront public eye. She's still doing projects and working on stuff, but she's not super upfront. This is like kind of like James, I think, cashing in on a chip, in a little bit of a way, like hey, buddy, we worked together before. I got the script,
She's a respectable actor, is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, oh, absolutely. She's definitely perfect for it in every way. I don't think it's a bad casting.
It's kind of a case of they know each other. So it's he's familiar with her and the quality of her work.
Right.
So and how well she directs, how directable she is, etc.
Yeah, and so it feels like right in a Cameron wheelhouse. So it's cool. It's a nice add-on.
Right.
maybe I'm all avatared out, and that's kind of like my thing. It's just like it feels like
Yeah,
it almost feels like a very kind of like, oh yes, of course, like
See,
kind of a casting.
Being a huge sci-fi fan, you know what I mean? I didn't like jump the Avatar bandwagon like everybody did at that one point.
Right.
I took it in. It was Cameron because I'm a big Aliens fan. I'm a big Terminator guy. I thought it was a really cool sci-fi flick, and I left it at that. So I'm looking forward to a new installment of it.
Sure.
But I'm not in the wheelhouse of these. You know, people that are spitting negative shit at it. Nor am I on that fucking, glory fucking ride.
No, exactly.
So I'm gonna embrace it as the next sci-fi gig.
It's very much a wait and see. I think some of the initial like kind of like hate it's getting right now is like, oh, do we need it? Like, let's see what he does with it.
I think the hate's a little overrated.
Well, it's always feels a little overrated, but sometimes it's justified too. But I think the thing is that like I think it's one of those things like because it's a little thin that sometimes now. Like, whereas when it came out, you're right. Everybody was like, oh, my God, I love this. And it feels like there's been a turn on it from probably the same people. Like, no, I don't like it. And it's like, well, what happened?
No, this is him up in the ante a little bit, I think.
No, yeah. This is a good sign because, the other announcement had people scratching their heads with the cast photo of all those kids. It was like, what are we doing? So, also, too, interesting development in the ongoing is it happening or is it not happening world of the Gambit movie with Chatau
Changing channels.
We're changing
channels.
Changing channels. I like it. I like that one. We haven't done that one yet. So changing channels is he's got Gambit lined up on again, off again. They can't find anybody. So now Gore Verbinski. Probably best known to some people as Pirates of the Caribbean, the first two, I think.
First three, I think.
Three. But still also a whole bunch of other stuff in his repertoire.
Ample director.
Absolutely. And can do the big budget stuff and so this is something that feels like a better fit maybe.
Yeah.
With the credits he's bringing to it as opposed to some of the other people that were stuck with it. So I'm sure Changing Channels is probably sitting there like, is this going to be it? Are we going to do it for real now?
Right.
So let's see what happens. But still, just couldn't care because it's Gambit in a way. But
if they just play him as like this, orphan from Louisiana kind of thing with this power.
Oh, you didn't like that tour de force performance in X-Men Origins?
No, then. No, I'm thinking if you're gonna do Gambit, you gotta do Gambit like you gotta bring some flavor to the character because it's a very one-dimensional like
Cajun flavor.
Play him more like a French chevalier, play him more like a French chevalier, but like through Louisiana.
Whoa, like a who?
It's like the Cavalier.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, but the French version of the Cavalier is like the guy who wants to be the champion.
I just wanted to hear you say the word again, and now you're not saying it.
Chevalier?
A Chevalier.
Okay, all right. Fucking
like heaven.
All you French Canadians can correct us or grade us on that. Sacre bleu. C'est bon.
I believe that's how it's pronounced. So
C'est la guerre. All right.
That's my New York French.
There you go. It all sounds a little bit the same.
Souffle.
Don't like it, tell the UN, all right? They're over on 40th Street.
Let them know.
Creme brulee.
Deja vu.
Whoa, well, we got them coming. What else?
Femme à la bouche.
Oh, there we go. What do we got?
Shia LaBeouf.
Le Pew.
Le Pew, Pepe
Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew.
Touché, Monsieur Pussycat. Okay, so The Last Jedi is going to be like really long.
2.5 hours.
Well, it's not really long. It's just a little longer than probably people were expecting to hear.
No, but I think Ryan Johnson's really splooging all over this. So.
Yeah. I think I think that as a good sign.
I take it as a great sign.
They need some wiggle room. They need some, it's not no hour 40.
I think Hollywood learned a long time ago. You don't shorten things because you can shorten shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? If it has to be 2.5 hours, it has to be 2.5 hours. You green-lighted the story, so you gotta hang with it.
And we're willing to, especially for something like this, where it's it's going to be a monster hit anyway. Like you don't even have to worry about the theaters kind of bucking against it and being like, oh, but we need to turnover. It's like, shut up, you're going to get turnover.
Really, just add another 50 cents to a box of friggin' popcorn.
No, don't do that. But just add another screen.
It's already
just add another screen.
Well, Star Wars is in good shape again. You know what I mean? And
it's sexy.
Not only that, but we're getting a real fucking director and a real fucking writer on this.
Yeah, it feels like we're going to get
people who are personally invested in Star Wars.
Right.
People who love the original product.
Absolutely. So I think too. I've been watching movies, and sometimes I think they end just a little too short I've been feeling that like a lot. Like I could have used, an extra 10 minutes or something.
Sometimes, yeah.
What was the Force Awakens? Force Awakens. Do we know?
It's like 2:15, I think.
Yeah, it was like 2:10.
I was gonna say that. I'm thinking back to that, and that felt like it was quite long. So I mean, it's probably
2.5 is pushing it.
Yeah,
but I think for a movie of this
I
caliber,
didn't feel like it was over long, but you could feel it.
If it's a good movie, it's not going to matter. You're not going to feel it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a fan, you're not going to feel it either.
Right.
Dude, even in the Transformers movies.
That's long.
Yeah, it's. I mean, but the action.
But
they're
on,
very long. They're 2.5 hours all the time.
But the action propels it, keeps it going.
I can sit through that. You know what I mean?
The last
something
one,
better than that. Yeah. Oh, great. No problem. I got no problem sitting.
You have a Transformer shirt on.
I didn't know why you were pointing at my breast. I was like, "What's up with my nipple?"
It's because you're a guy, Bill, and you have breasts.
No, it's true.
But no, I think I definitely agree with Bob. On the Transformers example, because those first 2 movies are really good. So you don't really feel how long they are, because you're enjoying them.
Yeah, even though the final action scene is like 50 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed the third one more than the second one. I think that was.
Yeah, that was. They were definitely 2 was definitely weaker, I think, than 3.
Yeah, once they took LaBeouf out.
Yeah, I liked all the ones with him.
Well, LaBeouf. The point with 2 is that I think that's when it starts getting silly because they had some extra cartoonier characters, goofbally, stereotypy.
Shit in the college.
The 2 little robots. You know what I mean? It gets like, all right, what are we doing here, guys?
Dark of the Moon was good. I thought that was cool.
Dark of the Moon. All right.
Dark Side of the Moon.
So, all right, well, back to the Jedi. We're all psyched for that. That's good news. We like that.
Yeah.
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Not this Bob, but... there's a show called Bob's Burgers.
Wait, why not this Bob?
Well,
I make a good burger.
I like your burgers, but they're not going to make it to the big screen. So
maybe
not yet. Keep perfecting it. Keep working the recipe.
Barbecue sauce and mozzarella.
Oh, here we go.
All right, well, you got me now.
Turn on the grill.
It may not make the big screen, but it's going to make a big impact in my belly.
I
actually like Bob's Burgers. It's a fun show, I think.
I never really kind of got into it. I know it's one of these ones, when I do stumble on it, I'm like, oh, okay. I do kind of hang with it, and I have some laughs. I'm like, I know this is a show. I kind of got to go back and kind of dip my toes into. But all right, so that's cool. We were talking about it last night a little bit, and we were kind of talking about how it's. Well, my point.
Were talking last night
a little bit for a while, but
wow,
a little bit.
I don't even want to know what the fuck that's supposed to be.
Well, first it was Bob's Burgers talk, and then
don't worry, Donnie, he was just talking to me. It wasn't anything extravagant.
It was like, well, if you got a measurement tape.
Then it was Bob's hot dog all of a sudden.
Exactly. Like, oh, wieners, those schnitzel. I'm like, both. Okay. But my point being last night was that, it's interesting because it feels like sometimes some shows, and you pointed out to me how long they've actually been around, but my point originally was oh, well, it's kind of early in their trajectory or lifespan. And you were like, well, it's been on 8 seasons. And I was like, oh, shit, I didn't even realize it had been on 8 seasons already. I was like, what? I'm like, oh, all right, I've really been missing the boat on it then. I thought it was season 3 or 4 maybe.
But it's quirky enough that it can have a movie to stand on its own, too. So I think...
but a full theatrical release is a little interesting for me. I didn't realize that the fan base had actually gotten that high. I knew it had some following, and obviously, it's sustaining itself on TV. I just didn't realize that they think it's running that deep where it's like, okay, this is the time.
Right. Well, cool. I didn't start watching until 2-3 seasons in. You know what I mean? I just thought it was another animated show. And then I started watching it, and I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of funny. So.
I've basically just stayed away because of the name.
Bob's Burgers.
Enough,
I don't.
Right?
I don't want the affiliation. I don't want anyone knowing I would if I was into that show.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone knowing I would be into that show.
Right.
You know, because of the jokes.
Of course, you like it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's like heaven forbid if someone.
So when that show came on, I was like, all right, I got to stay away from that one.
I don't need that.
I just it'd be cool to see who they get as voices, guest voices,
stuff like that.
Because I know Kevin Kline is on that show a lot.
Okay.
And he's a respected actor.
That season 8 just debuted, right? Just started.
I think so.
Over the past week. So I thought. I think earlier in the week. So
very cool, very cool. So fans of that can look for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the friggin' Orville, guys? Have you been watching that?
No, I'm falling behind.
The last 2 have been excellent.
All right, well, we'll put that into the meanwhile. You can cover that in the meanwhile a little bit. We got 2 more.
Still doing news.
Yeah, we got 2 more segments here. So Rush Hour 4 may or may not come. Does anybody care?
No.
Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
I didn't care about 1, 2, or 3 either.
Yeah. And I'll go on record right now saying I didn't care about this one with the foreigner where he's like looking like he's 80 years old. And
Oh, he's playing into that,
And his
right.
daughter,
Yeah,
is
Jackie
like
Chan's
9
new
years
movie,
old,
right.
goes overseas and gets killed or something. Yeah, she with her class.
Yeah.
So he goes
It's
there.
taken with Jackie
Yeah.
Chan, basically.
Trash.
You know,
Yeah, it's
I
basically.
have a very specific set of skills.
I didn't know it's one like, hey, have a very specific, because he looks so old now.
Yeah.
I think China. I
watched,
think China made him make this movie.
So I watched. He was on a talk show recently. I forget. I think it was Conan. One of them, but it doesn't even matter really.
Right.
But so he was talking about the injuries he's gotten over the years, and so he's basically got like a hole in the side of his head that you can't really see.
Really?
So he takes whoever it was. Takes
Who's this,
their
Jackie
hand.
Chan?
Yeah, Jackie Chan. So it's like right up, like above his ear, like over here. It's like this freaking dead spot, I guess. So he was like, yeah, if you would have hit that, you'd probably like, kill me, So he takes whoever's hand it is and basically puts it over there, and you can kind of see like their finger go down about a half inch.
And he starts twitching.
Right, that's what I was kind of hoping. Like, oh shit, here we go. He's gonna kick him.
You turn him off like Data on Star Trek.
That's where the button is.
I like Jackie Chan. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But I don't like those movies.
I'm done with them.
Yeah, I'm done with them too. I would like to thank China for abusing him as a child and making him so talented.
Yeah. But other than that,
But now,
you can take a rest.
he's kind of done. Yeah, relax, Jackie. Take it easy.
I'm
Spend your money.
You're only gonna break those bones faster now. You're brittle. You're old now.
I am interested in The Foreigner because I'm interested in seeing Pierce Brosnan as a bad guy.
Well, I mean, that's something to see. You know what I mean? Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. Like,
he actually looks like a very good bad guy in the trailers and the commercials. That I've
Yeah.
seen.
and I'll say this. I saw the trailer for that, and it holds up. It's
Yeah.
it's serviceable.
It's not terrible.
It's not a terrible movie.
It's
It's a
serviceably Jackie.
classic storyline.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. So we grew up watching that story.
So speaking of classic storylines, our last bit of news strikes a little bit close to home.
You was talking about Superman,
No.
Man of Steel.
Give it a moment.
I didn't mention it once.
Purge 4 is basically in development.
The what?
The Purge series. So Purge 4 is basically coming our way.
I didn't know that this was a 1, let alone up to a 4.
Well, I don't know if you saw it. So Purge, like in the first one, it's all about it's
Speed metal.
you wish.
Yeah,
it's all
actually, I do.
about like it's a little bit forward in the future, and basically we have this one night of the year where you're allowed to commit any crime you want.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the first
I
one, it's
remember.
about the people that are inside the house and everything's
Right.
going outside. Then the second one, it's about what goes on outside. In the third one, you follow some characters from the second one into the third one, which has got Frank Grillo in it.
Right.
In both of those, and now in the fourth one, Bob,
Right.
hold on to your hats.
All right.
All right. It's gonna
I'm
be
holding.
it's gonna be a prequel.
All right. Shall I
About
hold my breath?
about the well, yeah, actually, because then I'll drag this the fuck out, make it turn blue. But it's gonna be a prequel, and it's gonna be about like the very first time they did the Purge as like a test run,
They describe it as an experiment.
and it's gonna take place on Staten Island. Like that's where they're gonna film and shoot, and that's where like the story takes place.
On Victory Boulevard.
Basically,
All right. Well, that's because they got the movie studio here on the island now. So
yeah, I mean that's true. We got the filming productions area.
So and they're doing a lot of stuff. So all right, that's kind of cool. Maybe we can get some work as extras.
Oh, maybe.
I actually don't think they're gonna film on the island.
No?
They've actually started filming in like Buffalo and Rochester, upstate New York.
Obvious stand-ins.
They'll have to do some shooting here.
Obvious stand-ins
They'll
for
have no
Staten Island.
choice. Yeah.
At some point, they'll do some exteriors.
shooting.
Hey, Staten Island stood in for Jersey in War of the Worlds.
Yep.
Right?
You know?
And we stood in for China in
And Iron Fist.
in Iron Fist.
You told me, yeah.
We can be any place you need us to be. We're like the Canada of New York.
Yeah.
So,
That's what it's all about, eh?
so the guy who's directing and writing this, James DeMonico, he's actually a Staten Island native. He's from here, so
Cool.
This is tied into some
So
like
he knows. He
yeah,
knows some
so
spots.
so he's gonna bring some. At the very least, he's a local boy trying to do it. So. We won't let it slide, I guess, until we see how bad he shits on us or whatever.
It's okay. It can't be as
You
bad
know?
as the movie called Staten Island that was filmed on Staten
Yeah,
Island.
it's Tim Roth.
Yeah,
and it was actually
and,
filmed on our street where we grew up.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah. I
was
still
in
never saw
one.
that.
It was. Did they shot on Clinton v. Fisk?
Oh no, Staten Island was with what's his name from Training Day.
Yeah, he was in that.
Right, Vincent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vincent
I was
D'Onofrio was also. He was the mob boss.
oh, okay, because that one I never
Right.
saw. So I was thinking of the one about Tim Roth, which they filmed with Tim Roth from Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, which they filmed at the end of our block. in a house down there for a little while.
Yeah.
Like he comes home from
Quentin
prison. And it's
Tarantino,
about him trying to it's a drama piece. Him trying to readjust.
Ethan Hawke's in that, right?
Staten Island.
Yeah,
a movie
was
called
it
Staten
a
Island.
two-story house?
Well, two-story house now is the one that they almost shot at our parents' store.
Well, guess who that was directed by?
Which one?
Staten Island.
I don't know.
James DeMonaco.
James DeMonaco. There you go. Comes full circle. That guy can't leave it alone. All right. Very cool. Very cool.
I guess he likes it here.
He likes it here.
Yeah.
He's just, you know what it is? He just wants to make sure that when he fails in Hollywood and he comes back home,
He's like,
people
dude,
are like,
I tried.
I tried, man. I tried to put us on the map.
I represented.
I made a movie called Staten Island.
As long as he didn't make Staten Island Summer, we're cool.
Yeah.
As long as he didn't make that fucking movie, we're okay.
Thank you.
We don't need a lifeguard story of Staten Island kids.
Right.
So that's going to really kind of wrap up the news. I'm sure we'll have more Purge 4 updates as they continue.
This is going to be the official Purge 4 podcast.
You ain't kidding.
Unofficial.
Expect James DeMonaco soon.
Thomas K. in the hizzy.
In the Hizzos. All right. Is that it? Just him and Wesley?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm actually looking at his IMDb right now, and he wrote for the original Purge and Purge Anarchy, which I think was the third one.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
So.
All right, okay, cool. So he's actually tied up in that.
He's all up in that bitch.
He's all up in that. Thomas K. says, seems every mob movie was shot near Bob and Bill's house.
And my house, too.
Yeah.
Well, every movie we remember.
It seems like we have a special.
It's easier for us to remember those movies because we have reference.
Movies that we would have otherwise never fucking seen.
Yeah. You want to look up some ones that we want to forget. You can look up the one about the guy called Cropsey. Look up Cropsey. There's a movie about that we don't want to talk about.
Yeah. It's a little,
Nobody on Staten Island wants to talk about that.
It's a little
one.
mini doc.
Yeah, and that actually hits kind of close to home for me and Bill too.
It ties into a local tragedy.
Local tragedy that happened to a friend of ours growing up.
Yep.
So.
But anyway, I think we've actually talked about it before, like when that popped back in the days. But anyway.
Anywho.
Yeah. Anywho.
I think we have a little bit of a meanwhile here on our hands.
Meanwhile,
where to begin?
Let's start with the movie you and I saw.
All right, let's talk about Gerald. I could have used a little hand holding. Let's talk about Gerald's Game.
Yeah.
New to Netflix, a Stephen King story that I never read the book.
Me neither.
But the movie's really good. It's really dark and fucked up.
I heard that this was out, and this was after I stopped reading Stephen King.
Right.
So when I was reading the review, it was actually something like it was a really cool concept for Netflix.
Right. And it's even like one of these things where it's like a really cool concept as a book. And I remember, though, like when I heard that was the concept of the book, I was like, I think I know where that goes. And I don't know how different this may be from the book, but I guess I probably kind of didn't. But anyway, the setup on it is it's a husband and wife. They're 50s maybe, creeping on 50s, boardwalk area like that kind of thing.
Late 40s, early 50s.
And I think they're both remarried. Is that the thing? Or no, they've been together for a long time.
They've been together for like 10 years.
No kids between them, though.
No kids. They're kind of having issues in their marriage. So and they thought that this traveling out to the country would...
rekindle, spice it up.
Yeah, spice up their marriage a little bit.
Have a little kinky stuff.
And, well, he's into the kinky shit. And she's willing to do whatever it takes to spruce their marriage up.
Yeah, she's willing. She's
And so he handcuffs her to the bedposts. And then has a heart attack.
And they're in the middle of the woods.
I think we could all relate to that. I mean, no?
Yeah, like that's why you don't ever play with handcuffs, I think. Just in case.
It just sucks.
It's worst case scenario.
Was he afraid of what he saw when she got naked?
No, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't even get that far. Like, it's literally like he pops a Viagra, and like they start doing a thing, and then it stops because like she's not digging it. Now the cuffs are already on, so like they have this kind of breakdown conversation, like, well, what is this about?
I can get it. Wait.
Well, like a basic guy, like basically it comes back around, like in the conversation, he gives it another go, and she's still like, no, like she gets kind of creeped out by him again, and then like he's like, you know,
he's
this
got like a rape fantasy.
As soon as he starts like kind of like rubbing his, actually, yeah, like it's a little bit like it's a little too close.
Rough.
It's a little too close to a rape fantasy for her. Is what it comes down to, really, once you actually get the whole story.
Right.
But he ends up having this heart attack, falls over the edge of the bed, so at the foot of the bed. So all she can really see is like a little slice of his head and his hand. And like, you know, initially it's like, get up. like, you know, because she thinks maybe, all right, either the faking, and then when he's not faking, she's in denial, so she's like, okay, now you're just maybe knocked out. So get up, and then like the pool of blood starts to roll out, and she's like, "Fuck," you know what I mean? And then slowly but surely, it's about like what goes on from there, and like how she starts to kind of like really lose it, and how much of it is in her head, and how is she gonna get out of this? And,
And you learn her backstory, right?
Seems intense.
Like I don't want to.
Yeah, it's a very emotional, psychological, very big psychological aspect.
Yeah, that's the second act when you start to actually get deep into her and who she is and get the backstory stuff. That's where it really opens up.
Well, that's what it is. You go into her psyche of her talking to herself, basically.
Yeah.
And it comes in the form of her and him in the room with her talking. You know, it's all her talking. But
to herself. She's imagining them, basically.
But, you know, the guy and the woman herself are right beside her talking through this thing.
And like they're both different voices of, you can tell that they're the aspects of her processing it, her mind, you know?
And you get to flash back to her, you know, her upbringing and, you know, this, you know, shit with her father. And I don't want to say too much, but the movie basically has 3 people in it.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Like, you know,
and everybody brings it home, man.
Right.
I mean, she's
really
fantastic. It's Carla Cugino. It's Bruce Greenwood, who was he was the Pike in the new J.J. Abrams Star Trek.
Sounds like this is has a very independent kind of feel.
It does, and which is good because it works, because it's really just like a one room kind of movie. You know, it's all one room really, and it works because it's like usually like people being in one room feels like a contrivance, but she's actually just trapped. But so it's like not something. You know,
but it's really nicely done. See, I haven't read the book, but what I saw on that screen, I mean, this is Stephen King must be really happy right now because, you know, from it and then for this, I'm like, he's got to be now a hot commodity with his books to screen.
It's a bit of a renaissance.
It almost sounds like we're getting people who grew up with the things that we grew up with.
Right.
Now are in the positions where they can do things the right way.
Yeah.
Right.
This is what happened with it, because the guy it was something he read when he was younger, right?
Right.
And it happened again with Gerald's game, if I remember correctly.
And it's the thing I think a little bit too, like we talk about comics with the adaptations in general. Like the closer you probably stay to the source material, generally speaking, you know,
the better off you're going to be.
The better off it ends up being.
Yeah.
But this is great, and I have to say one shout out to Henry Thomas, who's in this movie. He's the kid that plays Elliot in E.T.
Yeah.
You know, well, he's like, you know, among our age now, and he really
he's in it.
He's in it.
He's in it.
Well,
he's in it.
All right. Well, people look him up and see who he is. But.
He's in it.
All right.
Bill's trying to tell you don't ruin anything.
Well, it's not really ruined, but I'm saying he brings a really good performance.
It took me a while to recognize him. I'll put it like that. I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere, and then I'm like, oh, that guy.
But he's in gangs. He gets around too. He's in gangs in New York, and
he's the guy who said penis breath.
Which I didn't realize. I don't know if that was the thing we said in our house before that movie, but I know we said it a lot growing up in our house. Just cut it out, penis breath. And I don't know if it came from that movie.
I think it did, because me and David saw that movie in the theater.
Sure, right. I just know because I was younger than you guys that was a thing we said.
Dude, when we heard that, we were little, right? So when we heard that, that was hysterical,
and it was perfect. It's like, oh my god, that's like the perfect phrase.
It brings you back to a time.
It's not a curse,
right? But I can say that you're a like you're a faggot. You're like you sucked a dick.
And I don't know what at that age you don't really know what it means.
No, I didn't. I didn't even really get like it's so funny because it's such an obvious implication.
Yeah,
you know, that you had one in your mouth at the very least, and then it just was a thing you said. Like,
it brings you back to a time where you watched a family-oriented film and they could curse in it.
Once in a while,
exactly.
Yeah,
you know,
in a PG movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And I bet you that was like a workaround for some other curse or something. It was probably like, oh, we can't have that. Well, what if he calls him penis breath instead? Oh, yeah, that sounds like a thing a kid would say.
Yeah.
But then let alone every Sweeney kid was saying it.
And Uncle Jay.
And Uncle Jay. Fair enough. So I just want to kind of give I don't really have enough.
It's the movie's fault.
To get into, really, but Gifted, the Fox show that takes place inside the X-Men universe.
Oh, right,
kind
yes,
of.
yes.
That started
that
on
dropped?
Monday. That started on last Monday, and it was actually pretty good. I mean, I hope it keeps up in a way, but I like I didn't think it was gonna. I'm not saying it's amazing. I'm just saying like okay, I thought it was gonna be crappier than it was in a way.
Right.
I don't want to over elevate it, but it's pretty good. And like it's landing the tone. It doesn't feel too like comic booky or silly or campy in a way. It's like very straightforward. It's people with powers, and some of them are on the run, and it's like okay, cool. I want to see more.
Right.
It really worked. I was surprised that it worked as well as it did for me because I'm usually kind of like looking for a way out. Like, okay, what can I just shit on this show a little bit so I don't have to watch it almost sometimes with new stuff. It's like I don't need another show. Don't be good. Like I don't need another show.
But it was good.
But it was pretty good. I'm intrigued.
Good.
So people should probably give that a shot if they were wondering. I'm going to give that a recommendation.
All right, cool.
So with that,
I'm definitely gonna check that out.
speaking of recommendations, Jay saw Blade Runner 2049. And not to spoil it, but I know he's going to recommend it.
Big time. It's a very high stash for me.
Yeah.
I'm not
Buzz was really high right before this thing dropped.
right. It because the critics got to see it for the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks and they went nuts for it. But I'm not gonna try to give any spoilers away. I'm not gonna try to really dig into it. I'm just gonna say that actually I saw Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 in the theater. I saw that Wednesday and Thursday night.
Oh, a little double hit.
Like double hitter because they released Blade Runner for one night in theaters.
Cool.
So that was just awesome. But this movie has legs of its own. You don't really need to watch Blade Runner, but I recommend that you do because
Okay.
there's a lot going on in there that is relevant to this story.
Okay.
So it would help if you saw that.
Sure.
But what this guy Villeneuve, he's another French. Villeneuve,
He's French.
Chevalier.
Hey, he's great, man.
He's phenomenal.
I mean,
And
it's like every blockbuster that comes out that's like not a superhero movie. It's like, oh, who directed that? Oh, Denis Villeneuve. Oh, all right, cool. All right, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
That's
you
money in
know-
the bank.
Yeah, like every single, like I feel like every movie that's come out in the past like 3-4 years, he's been directing that shit.
whatever he is, he's like 5 for 5 or whatever it is
Yeah.
with his movies. But you know how Ridley Scott has his own dark stamp on movies? He actually takes that and puts his stamp on that stamp.
Okay.
Which is just phenomenal. I mean, you see, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it's very, very deep, too. You know what I mean? But it's another Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And there's I see. I can't give too much away, man, because it's.
I've heard that if you speak about the plot, it's a spoiler.
Right.
That's what I've heard. I've heard
wow.
that the plot in and of itself is a spoiler.
No, I mean,
Like that you can't speak about the movie without spoiling it. Basically, is what I heard.
You can't really get into story too much because it's
Yeah.
that. Okay.
but
Yeah.
I'll just give you technical aspects. This
sure.
movie is absolutely stunning to
It
look
looks
at.
beautiful.
It's just shot well, and the technology that they're using.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they're advancing the technologies that were in the original Blade Runner,
Mm-hmm.
just 30 years down the road.
Right.
you
The
know.
stuff that's in that world. I
Right,
got you.
you know,
Okay.
all the the artificial intelligences
Mm-hmm.
and shit like that, and the places they go to, you get to see a little bit more than futuristic Los Angeles. You get to see different parts of California and shit. Nice. And the last thing I'll say about it is Harrison Ford is really fucking good in it. Like he really, I mean, it's impressive. It's an impressive job. And
Now, without spoiling it, whose movie is it?
it's Ryan Gosling's movie.
It's Ryan Gosling's
But
movie?
it's very much. I mean, Harrison Ford is the core really of why Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
He's moving around. You're watching Ryan Gosling move around in that world of
Yeah.
Harrison Ford and these other characters in
Right.
a way.
But
so it's almost mutual. It's
Right.
almost mutual.
Almost, but the fact is, I mean,
You're
know,
following his perspective in his storyline. So
right. Like I don't want to say when Harrison Ford comes into the movie
fair enough, yeah.
and whatnot, but when it does, man, I mean, definitely go just to see, some really amazing, beautiful cinematography and a really good science fiction film.
So I just checked out his IMDb real quick for Villeneuve because I want to see what he had in there. So his last two are pretty good. I mean, he's got Arrival,
Right.
was his, and Sicario. And then it goes into some other ones. That
Prisoners.
Prisoners, right.
And then everything else gets a little bit more.
That's a great fucking
2011 and more indie stuff. But some good stuff right there.
Right. Even that indie stuff was like, this guy's going to go someplace.
Right. Well, I'm
Yeah,
sure,
I
like,
mean-
you could probably spot
So
him.
this is a stash for you?
Very, very high stash.
And
Could be my movie of the year, maybe.
Okay.
Got 2
All
more
right.
months yet.
All right, cool.
all right. I forget what he's talked. I forget what the buzz is on him for like upcoming. He hasn't signed up for it. There's nothing else on IMDb like he has in development, but I forget there was talk about.
It was Batman. It was the Batman movie.
Was it?
Yeah, and that obviously didn't. I think Matt Reeves is on that, right?
Man, that would be some Batman movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the rumors were about.
Matt Reeves is nothing to sneeze at, though.
No, of course not.
He's another one. I was taken with Cloverfield. I liked that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, he made Planet of the Apes interesting for me.
Yeah.
I was always bored by that franchise. So.
And he made a really good remake of that vampire movie. It was called Let Me In. You ever see that?
No.
With Chloe, the girl from Kick-Ass, Chloe Moritz.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
It was a remake of not a French movie because I'm on a German movie.
We should just title this episode France.
All about French. All about the French.
So I actually have a meanwhile.
I see
this
that.
week.
I see that. What do you got here, buddy?
And this is like a breaking news story, I guess you could say, because this is my first time speaking publicly about this. But I've been challenged by a friend of mine.
Oh.
We already know you, guy.
To finish. Hey, I mean.
That wasn't it, was it?
Oh no.
That was gonna be.
Sorry.
That was gonna.
I'm the gay one.
I was saving that for.
Obviously.
I was saving that for 150.
I don't know who the gay guys would want, to be honest with you. You or him more. Because he's a little Twinkie and you're a little bear-like, so
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that. And why I know those terms
I'm not that hairy.
doesn't mean anything.
I don't even know what that meant.
That's
what that
you're probably
but,
best for that.
But all right. But no, I've been challenged by a friend to finish the full series of A Song of Ice and Fire before the next season of A Game of Thrones comes back.
What, the books, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I had started the first book, A Game of Thrones, a while back.
Write it down, people. We're talking about books.
You remember this?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I started that a while back. I had read 27 chapters was where I was at.
I thought you were going to say like 20 pages or so.
No,
I'm very happy with myself.
It's a fucking 70+ chapter book.
No,
dude.
I know. It's a beast.
So I just finished that this week.
Okay,
finally
cool.
finished it, and I downloaded A Clash of Kings, which is the next one in the line.
Oh, okay.
And
What
that
are you
should
doing these like Kindle-like or something?
yeah.
Okay.
So like on my iPad.
Gotcha.
Like yeah.
You got to read it on there.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think the second book would in terms of the television show would it just is season 2 basically.
Yeah.
Like they run basically parallel with each season.
There comes a point though where they split it up though, because one of the books gets so long that I remember that they were saying, "Oh, this book we're going to split up because
it's probably around 5."
It's the one where they kind of push
Bran out.
Bran, right? Where they push
I think
Bran
it's the
out.
5th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right on that.
So yeah, Jay. Couldn't recommend the show enough to you, man.
now
you need to fucking watch it.
You
dude.
say you just read the first book?
Yeah, I just finished
Does that
it.
cover the Sean Bean stuff?
That's like the first season of the show.
That's the season
yeah.
I watched.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the only one that I read too,
And let me tell you,
as
man.
far as the books go.
I know how. I mean, you guys know how I feel about Preacher, and that's like the only thing that I have as like a baby to me that's been adapted really like
the
that.
Books, basically.
Yeah. And this just goes to show that Preacher is just unique in how much it sucks because
The TV show.
because
as an
Yeah.
adaptation.
because Game of Thrones, the first book, it's basically the first season for the most part, with like a few more extra things added in for just because it's a book and you had to fill the space, you know, and
but it's almost like
it's all the changes that they made in the television show don't matter to the plot really. It's all just shit that they took out from the book because they just couldn't fit it in based upon the medium.
It was really about streamlining it in a way.
Exactly. So there's a few things like that are wildly different that I would have liked to see them do on the show just to see how they would pan out. But they're doing God's work, man. On that fucking show.
That's good to hear.
And you know the books are great, so I'm really excited about this. And
well, I
think you guys should like place like something upon
some
me.
book talk.
No, like just
deadline?
place like a deadline or like a fine if I don't finish it.
Ooh.
Just so I have incentive not to.
For this next book that you're reading, or for like
For
the
like
whole
the
series?
whole thing. Because I have 4 books left.
Right. So
We'll open the show with Don. Did you read that fucking book yet?
I'm trying to do like.
Well,
Can we have you get a brain scan while you're doing this, and then
what,
when
like,
you're done, and then see if your brain got bigger?
or maybe if it got smaller.
Probably got smaller.
No, it's crazy. Is because I have all 6 seasons on Blu-ray, sealed. You know what I mean? And
I fall into that kind of pocket
and
too.
it's sitting like on my desk, and I was going to start digging into it because at this point I'm going to go back and watch season 1 again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I watched it as it came on. That was what 5 years ago or something.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
it is one of those shows where like. Season 1 can use a rewatch.
Yeah.
Season 1 can always use a rewatch.
Every season could use a rewatch.
Because they're establishing everything, and it's very a whole world, and it's a lot of names you kind of got to get used to, and it's all like they're feeling themselves out too for how to present a lot of stuff.
Right.
And then once it's up and running, all the new shit that comes along in season 2, it's very easy to kind of just roll with it at that point. Like, you know.
Because I did watch the last 2 episodes of last season.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And they were talking about things that I remember back in the first season.
Kind of being hinted at.
The undead and all that shit. So I'm like, fuck, I need to fucking watch this fucking show. I got to watch it, but I have so much shit to watch, but I will make it. So you read the books, I'll watch the series. And
well, that's the thing, too. I'm also, like, in the middle of the rewatch of the whole series, too, which I had started doing. Like, Bill had known about that. There's a podcast called Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. It's great. If you watch the show, you should fucking listen to it because they're really good. And they just started in the off season. Oh, sorry. I think that was me.
That was the spring.
I guess it was the spring. Yeah, but OCC over there, they're doing the Lord's work with that podcast because in the off season they're doing a rewatch themselves, so they started back at season 1, episode 1.
Okay.
And they're calling it the Night's Rewatch.
Nice.
It's really fun. Check it out if you're into the show. And they do 1 episode a week, so don't feel the pressure to fucking have to binge the entire series again in a week or in a few days. They're literally watching 1 episode a week.
Well, all right. So, like, you want a deadline? How about this? Just every time you come in, you tell us how much further you've gotten.
Okay.
So, like, if you're to chapter 20 or whatever, like, you give us a little status report, all right? And we'll judge you on that.
All right.
Okay. So, like, if we feel like you haven't gotten through enough chapters, we'll give you some shit.
Okay.
Say
The Dom report.
Yeah,
okay.
There you go.
do a chapter, I'll do an episode.
And then we'll talk about how you're really letting down the Night's Watch. You know what I mean?
All right, yeah. All right, well, yeah, I mean, I was looking at it as, like, I should do, like, 1 a month. Like...
A chapter, or you mean a book?
A book a month.
Okay, fair enough.
So...
Do you have the time for that?
I think so. I think I do.
Okay.
I think I do.
Oh, that means you must be between girlfriends right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
there you go.
I'm always between girlfriends, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that's,
Well, depending. Sometimes when you're with one, you want to kind of not be with one. There are times for that. All right, so cool. A Song of Fire and Dance. I'm not Fire and Dance. A Song of Fire and Ice updates, folks.
Ice and Fire.
The Frank Frazetta piece? Remember that?
Yeah, sure. Frank Frazetta all the way, baby.
It was his only film.
All right, so let's see what we got. We didn't do a chat room game.
No.
Well, I was going to do the Orville.
Oh, that's right. Bob's jumping in with the Orville. All right, so
I know it's not on the sheet. So.
No, that's what got me just now. But now I'm behind.
Actually, there's 2 things I want to talk about.
Okay.
While we were talking, you guys were talking, it reminded me of something else I wanted to mention.
Okay, cool.
But we'll start with the Orville, all right? We're about 5 episodes into the Orville.
Wow, already. Shit,
Yeah.
that went quick.
Loving it.
Right, cool.
Loving it. It's not as goofy as you think it might become after watching the first episode.
Right.
They're taking it a little more seriously, but not too seriously, because it's still a little bit lighter. Like, they're letting the humor be part of, like, the personalities of the characters and the stuff that goes on the ship.
Right.
Like this latest episode, not to give anything away, the helmsman, redhead.
Yeah. He's usually the wise cracker
Right.
in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, he challenges the robot character to prank him.
Okay.
Right, he's trying to teach him about jokes.
Okay.
Right, so which is a very Star Trek thing to do.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so it's actually kind of
Well,
cool.
that is a Data
Yeah.
storyline, I think. Yeah.
Right, so he's like, okay, I'll do a prank to you, and then you got to do one to me. So he does a prank to him, and it's literally the Mr. Potato Head thing. He puts the things on his face.
I got you. Okay.
While he's like sleeping.
He does it to the robot. Okay.
Right? So his robot comes in, he looks like Mr. Potato Head.
Right.
Okay. So funny on its own. You know what
Sure.
I mean? It's not like one-liners or nothing.
Right.
So then He's like, okay. He explains to him, now you got to get me. So and when I'm not supposed to expect it. So then story goes on, and wakes up. The redhead guy wakes up in bed. One of his legs is gone.
The robot really doesn't get what the fine line is on what's too much.
Right.
I took your leg. I thought that would be funny. Like, you know what I mean? We can grow it back.
Yeah, and that's what they did.
That's
with
what they
that,
do, right? They probably grow it back, I
right?
figure.
Because suddenly they needed their best pilot. You know, he's in the med bay getting his leg regenerated.
Right.
And now they need the best pilot, so he's got to come in with the crutches, and you see the bare, gimpy foot, kind of like the Daredevil hand.
Yeah.
From the movie.
Deadpool.
The Deadpool. Right.
That's
Sorry.
funny.
But it was with the leg. So it's not overly goofy stuff.
Right.
It's just writing a little bit into the story.
Right. Well, I like what you were saying. Like, it's like the characters are goofy. They're sometimes funny in themselves.
Right. There's a military structure like Star Trek, but they're not playing it military.
Oh yeah, there's that
I mean?
too. Yeah, it's not so stodgy.
The characters, it's not very stiff. It's a loose environment.
It's a very looser ship than most.
Right.
That's for sure.
Right.
And that's the feeling of it too. It's like these are characters who happen to be funnier people.
Right.
In a seriouser kind of world.
Seriouser.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, you know, if the Federation had one ship full of clowns.
This is the ship.
This is the ship. Right.
Right.
So,
pretty much.
Yeah. It's not like, oh my God, the craziest, goofiest things happen.
And they're doing some serious like sci-fi adventures along the way.
Right.
They're not, and a lot of like sometimes they're actually doing things that you just, as someone who watches a sci-fi show, you just want to say, just grab a friggin' hammer.
Right.
Or, you know, something but analog, not digital, something not technical.
You feel like, oh, the old world
to fix
answer.
a problem.
Right.
So on this last show, well, someone takes a device that's about the size of my phone. It's all just blocky aluminum, and it's like wedged into the circuitry inside of one of the walls.
Right.
And they can't do anything to get it out. So the
Android?
No, the guy, not the engineer. The engineer guy, who's actually kind of like Scotty.
Okay.
He's an older guy.
Yes.
Right. He said, "Listen, I'm going to try something." He comes out with a little battery-operated drill, and he's like, "This is my grandfather gave this to me
Right,
when I
well, it's
was
like
in engineering school."
Right.
So I want to try something. Drills a hole right in the thing. Done.
But everybody else is like, "Ooh, that's amazing. We never saw a thing like that before."
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's
Because it's an antiquated device.
Right.
That's funny.
You know what I mean? So they're addressing those things as well.
That's funny. Yeah.
Which is a smart way of doing things.
It's like any of the rules that kept Star Trek from ever kind of like doing anything.
Yeah, they don't really have to.
They don't have to play by it.
No, they don't have to play by that.
Why can't we do that?
Yeah,
right.
they're not. But they're not playing for camp. They're not breaking out into song in the middle like an episode of Family Guy.
Right. Yeah.
Or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool. It's a little bit more lighthearted at times, and it's a little more. Some of the storylines are a little more family oriented as well at times, because of the interpersonal relationships that have existed before the Orville takes off.
Yeah, and that's what kind of gives it just one more layer too, which is
a lot of the people already know each other, so there's that as well.
There's a little person-to-person shorthand kind of thing.
Right, there's him with the ex-wife, and then there's him with the pilot. They're buddies, and there's supposed to be other stories that we don't really know yet with some of the other people.
Yeah.
So that's definitely, if you're not watching the Orville, or if you're pissed off at CBS.
Hey, there's an option.
Fox is all in with Seth MacFarlane with this.
Yeah.
If you're not watching it, definitely start. Okay, it's definitely cool. The other thing I wanted to mention was a little more music related, and it's a movie thing, and I actually wanted to ask Jay about it. Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
They have recorded their last two concerts and turned it into a movie.
No shit.
All right. And Showtime's going to be doing the worldwide release, but since it's going to be a cable thing, they're also releasing it on DVD, Blu-ray, and there's going to be a digital, and there's going to be like a limited edition thing going with that as well. So I'm stashing that.
Oh, okay.
Myself. So I mean, it's Black Sabbath. I've been watching some of the footage on YouTube.
Okay.
It's
I've
just
seen
so-
some of that tour.
Yeah, there's YouTube video footage for Loner and a couple of the newer songs, as well as some of the older stuff. That this is all going to be on this, and it's all awesome.
Oh, nice.
So
I will look for that.
I'm definitely going to be stashing. There's going to be one. You're going to probably want to get the limited edition one, Jay, because it's a Blu-ray with the CD music. So it's going to have the music CD version, which they're also releasing.
Okay.
And then there's going to have the video, and then it's going to have several limited edition things like they have the bat, the demon with the wings.
Yeah.
There's going to be a pin and things like that.
Oh, nice.
So
I will stash that.
2 stashes for a thing they haven't even seen
definitely.
yet.
I'm stashing everything
It's coming
this
out
episode.
sometime in November, I believe.
Just in time for Christmas.
Yeah,
There you go.
So definitely, that's something I'm going to be picking up sometime.
Very cool. Very cool. And yeah, because they're wrapping it up.
Yeah, that's it for them. So
Yeah.
yeah. And this is going to be, with the exception of Bill Ward, because he's had too many heart attacks.
Yeah. Well.
He's had like
there's a limit.
5, and they wanted to take him out and give him breaks.
Is he having all the
They've
ones
done-
that Ozzy's
they've
not
done that-
having?
Something like that.
You know,
Something like
he made
that.
some deal with the devil. I'll take all your heart attacks, Ozzy. I'll keep you alive.
But yeah, so because of that, they didn't have him in this. So
Oh, okay.
just basically, he didn't want to do it because he didn't want to do it the way they wanted him to do it, to spare him the exertion.
I got
They
you.
wanted to like expel him a lot more often than they used to
Gotcha.
in the past, and
Yeah.
he wasn't into that, and he got upset.
Well,
So
it's not
so-
easy, man.
But still,
Age is a
phenomenal. It's
bitch.
going to be a phenomenal thing. If you're into heavy music at all, you got to pick this up.
I will definitely pick that
Yeah,
up.
it's going to be the last time you'll see them. So
I'm sure Ozzy's had a few silent heart attacks we don't know about.
That's why he shuffles. There's been a couple of strokes.
What are you talking about?
Sharon!
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 Live in the studio.
Whoa.
I did it.
I'm not doing it again.
I did the fucking thing that you
All
all want me
right,
to
I
fucking
did the
do.
thing. I'm your little monkey now.
We got emails
all right?
or what?
We do. We got a couple. Some of them are actually junk mail, but I'm gonna skip over those this time.
No, read those too. That's
All
fun.
right,
That's good radio.
All right, hold on.
yeah, maybe the Nigerian prince listens to the show.
What's the percentage off on Viagra this week?
No. There's a junk mail from someone.
If you're getting your Viagra from China, isn't it called Chiagra?
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you're getting your Gibson from China, they call it a Chibson.
That's
true.
That's true. So our first one is actually from Agent Palmer,
No, okay.
and he's got a little bit of a bit.
Uh-oh.
I'm nervous.
Don't be. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Given the recent and unexpected Geico commercials featuring the animated He-Man cartoon, I don't know if everybody saw this. Okay, cool. I'm going to list some other cartoons that way we wouldn't expect to do commercials, much like that one. Your job is to come up with what they would actually be advertising. So I think we could swing this a little bit.
Okay, that sounds good.
First one up is Thundercats.
Suppositories.
I'm thinking kitty litter. I'm thinking, like,
That's
you know.
an obvious one.
Yeah, true.
That's an obvious one, though.
It is, and the Geico one does come out of left field, right? Like it is He-Man, Skeletor, and it's like, oh, Geico, you know.
Right. I would think something like that you wouldn't think that they would plug
Right,
like
that's what I mean.
dog treats.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they're cats. You don't want to reward the dog, you know.
Right,
But this
right,
is
right.
why you give the dog. This way he doesn't chase you. You know.
What if it's like those dog collars that zap you, but it's for Wily Kit and Wily Cat, because they're always Wily Kit and Wily Cat. Where did they go?
Actually, that should be. That's actually really good because I could just see them. Just plugging, not even Wily Cat and Wily Kit, just the item itself, just plugging it straight, because they're cats,
Right,
and it's a
right.
dog. It's a dog collar designed to torture the dog.
Right, because we don't like dogs, but we're
Right.
cool with this one.
Right.
Maybe 9 lives.
A particular brand. of
Yeah,
cat food?
exactly. Have him
Yeah.
beat the shit out of Morris, the cat, you know what I mean? And it's Lion-O now.
I could dig it.
That'd be cool.
I think Mum Ra would probably do some kind of
Geritol.
something like old folk stuff, maybe even Viagra or something like that.
Yeah.
I know there's a missed opportunity here for me to do Mum Ra, but my throat hurts. So G.I. Joe. Well,
G.I. Joe.
The
NRA commercial.
Used military vehicles. Selling used military vehicles.
repurposing the Duke's discount auto.
the new cars for
Duke's
kids.
discount Humvees. Military Humvees.
Nothing but Humvees.
Acres and acres and acres of Humvees.
Nothing but Humvees. Get them while they last. They'll be lasting a long time. We've got a lot.
We have the last remnants of the Hummer.
Every 1988 vehicle out of commission by the government. But
we have two that were formerly owned by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But like a kid, like you had, like we've got one of everything, just one. Like it's like a kid's collection. Like you never had multiples of anything. You just had one plane,
Or Cars for Kids. We can use another spokesman for that.
Only if it's
1-800 Cars for Kids.
Only if it's Snake Eyes, so I don't have to hear him sing the fucking jingle.
No, because then it'd be silent.
Over here, ladies and
That's what I mean. That's why it'd be great. I don't have to hear it. It's like Cars for Kids. It's just you hear the jingle and Snake Eyes stands there. And then, like, maybe chops a kid in half or something. I don't know. Let's see.
Over here, ladies and
commercials.
gentlemen, jets for sale.
Could Cobra Commander or any of those guys? A Dreadnoks?
Harleys.
Dreadnoks,
Harley
right? They could do
Davidsons.
some motorcycle
Cobra
company.
Command is always yelling.
Yes.
So maybe he should sell throat lozenges.
Lozenges. Falls.
Or
from
hear-
my throat.
Or hearing aid, because he thinks
He's always, what?
That's disgusting.
What's that stuff? Back in the days, they still got it around, but you polish the chrome with it, and looks like chocolate milk when you pour it out.
Oh, yeah.
Chromo or chromium. It's like in a green can. But Distro should be selling that,
Chrome polish.
Cobra Commander. When you need a good polish.
like the kiwi the shoe polish?
Yeah. The little thing that comes with the little buffer in it and the polish,
He opens it up and it's all shiny. Little chrome looking.
Exactly. How about Smurfs? What could the Smurfs be selling? What could they be hawking?
Weed.
Shrooms, man.
Shrooms, exactly.
They could take out the Hawaiian Punch guy and sell Hawaiian Punch.
But blue.
Yeah, they could do an ad for like one of those like weed services that are out on the West Coast, like the apps now and shit.
Oh, nothing.
That you could,
Colorado and shit.
Yeah, in Cali and Colorado, you could just like buy.
They
weed
could sell their own
and
strains of
drugs.
Smurfy goodness.
There you go.
Bongy Smurf. Like what's the pothead Smurf's name? 420 Smurf? No.
Cheech
that guy-
Smurf.
Cheech Smurf and Chong Smurf.
Bokey Smurf. Boke.
Yeah, Smurfy Smurf.
Hungry Smurf.
You want a
Spliffy Smurf.
boke?
Yeah, you know what it'd be? It'd be Stony Smurf, right?
Stony.
Because that's like how all the names are.
Munchie.
Brainy,
Munchy Smurf.
Grumpy, Munchie, or
Munchy or Stony.
Stony, I think. DuckTales. Woo.
Affleck.
There you go. There you go. We'll say the same thing for Darkwing, I think, for Darkwing
Yeah.
Duck. Tiny Toons.
Crack.
Yeah, I don't know. Tiny Toons. It's all basically Bugs
A
Bunny.
zoo commercial, maybe.
Yeah.
The Bronx Zoo.
Carrots.
Bring your kids down to the zoo where they won't meet cute, cuddly animals like us.
Well, they weren't just rabbits. They were, ducks and cats.
Oh, yeah, it's a full cornucopia.
That's why I said maybe the Bronx Zoo.
Yeah. Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Red Bull.
There you go, Red Bull. Hey, Rocky, watch me pull this thing out of my ass.
Hey, try this, Rocky, and then Rocky starts flying around.
All right, Bullwinkle. That never works. That never works. Well, hey, Rocky. Watch me pull this hemorrhoid out of my ass. The Jetsons.
Toyota.
Yeah, right, because, I don't know.
Flying Toyotas, I don't know.
Flying Toyota is the newest model. He works at basically Sprockets. So, some Sprockets.
Rock Auto. Because he works at Spacely Sprockets.
There you go. Jane, stop this crazy thing. Flintstones. I think it predates advertising. They probably wouldn't get a contract.
There used to be spokesmen for Winston cigarettes.
That's true, Bon. Hey, Bon, how's that cancer? Oh, pretty good, Fred.
No. They could sell brakes.
Breaks, right. All right. My feet hurt here, Bon.
It sounds like you need to get these new brakes. Right?
Dr. Scholl's.
It's a twofer. It's a twofer. Dr. Scholl's new braking system. I got you, right. It's just a big block. It's a pad. It's an actual brake pad that you just strap to the bottom of your foot with some duct tape or something. Hey, Bon, these are working pretty good there.
My pebbles.
I'm gelling like Magellan.
Fred. All right, I had to put the Fred on it just so you know that that's supposed to be Barney.
I know it was Barney.
Because it was a bad Barney, I thought.
It was all right.
Yeah, it's better than the one from Silence of the Lambs.
Barney.
Wacky races. I think that's an auto parts store thing. That's got to be like
NASCAR.
Like,
NASCAR.
Right,
Right out of my mouth.
That I want to see though is like a NASCAR with them all in the vehicles, and like you don't get 12 feet past the line without your first pile up.
Yeah. Just as like part of an intro, you use them. You talk about the early days of NASCAR with the moonshine and everything. As the cartoon goes on, and segue into today.
And Muttley in the middle
with the cars.
That's it. That's Jeep, right? That's a
Speed buggy.
Speed buggy.
Speed buggy.
Right? Something like that, right?
Yeah.
There you go. That's all you're getting, folks. Is like maybe not good answers, but you're getting some
and
cartoon
you basically get a
impressions.
version of Shaggy with goggles on.
Right. Zoinks!
And a leather helmet.
Zoinks, Scoob, you're going too fast.
Oh shit.
All right. Gem and the holograms. This is gonna be chauvinistic, but I'm just gonna say like really
Makeup.
like gaudy makeup. Yeah, like that's where I was going.
Like Cover Girl or something.
Yeah, like but you can only apply it like a 12-year-old who just got their first makeup.
Exactly.
Cheap mall jewelry.
Just anything 90s.
Yeah.
Claire's the boutique.
$5 lip gloss.
It's nothing but hot pink and acid and stonewash jeans. You know what I mean? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, maybe.
Turtle wax.
Turtle wax. There you go. Get a buff.
Or pizza.
Pizza Hut. Yeah.
Pizza Hut.
I was gonna say they gotta buff that shell on the back, so
Turtle wax.
It'll look a little gay, but if you get like them all three lined up, buffing each one buffing the next guy.
There's 4, Bill.
I mean, you only get 3 of them doing it. The first guy is gonna be buffing to nobody, so that's what I'm saying. You only get 3
buff,
of the 4.
He can be rubbing the chest because that's still shell.
He'll buff Splinter.
I was just gonna say he's got the buffing rag on Splinter's
He
forehead.
gotta go with the whole
and
homoerotic
and
thing.
Splinter's like, you fucking jerk. He's got his face on like. Stop it.
Well, your shell needs a shine. Minwax.
Yogi,
totally incredible.
Yogi Bear.
National Parks.
Ziploc freezer bags.
Toilet paper.
Picnic biscuits.
Either or.
Charmin.
He's a new Charmin guy.
Charmin.
Coleman.
Got tied to wiping my ass with a rabbit.
He could sell Coleman grills.
There you go. And camping gear. Like anything, that's a probably like
Sports
the
Authority.
Sports Authority. Go to Dick's. Scooby Doo.
Scooby snacks.
Yeah, just like and they actually make them now, so it's like
Milk-Bone.
Milk-Bone. Right, he'll sell out when he loses the contract.
Bacon strips.
Milk-Bone, even better.
Do bacon strips all.
Yeah, that's true. He'll just take over and just do everything now.
Alpo.
Jay, that was like very incoherent. it's perfect Scooby.
Yeah.
I really can't understand it.
Yeah.
Well, if you could do Astro from the Jetsons, you can do Scooby. I love you, Rory.
Ruh-roh.
It's got to be as incoherent as possible.
Okay.
How about Gargoyles? Do you remember Gargoyles?
Oh, yeah, that was good
I don't know if you ever saw Gargoyles.
I think I.
It was literally about gargoyles.
I think I have. I got to look it up though.
The sun tiles.
The sundials, like
solar panels.
Solar panels. I was just gonna say like lawn ornaments or like whatever, like when you go to the gardening section, they have all that concrete stuff.
Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah.
Well, since they're gargoyles and they're mostly stone, you can sell sandblasters.
Yeah, basically building materials.
Gargoyle sandblasters.
Grime remover, like
Exactly.
pigeon deterrent, some kind of pigeon anti-pigeon thing. You know what I mean?
Are pigeons shitting on your gargoyle statues?
I think Garfield probably
Lasagna.
was going to sell like Mama
lasagna.
Rosario's lasagna.
Or Prego or Ragu?
Pasta sauce.
Yeah. Probably one of those because he would eat anything.
Yeah, he would eat Ragu.
He would eat that shit.
We got Ragu here.
Hey guys, it's Ragu. I can't do that guy. I want to do Bill Murray.
Hey Odie, give me that Ragu.
But it's like you got to do the TV cartoon one. Like that's the key voice.
Not the Bill Murray one.
Hey man, anybody can do a Bill Murray, man. It's all right, I just do Peter from.
You sound like Chong, man.
He does sound like a Chong, more like Chong.
That's Bill Murray from Caddyshack.
It's actually, and even less than that, it's actually.
Boy.
It's the guy from the Ghostbusters cartoon trying not to do.
It's
Bill
the same
Murray.
guy. That's the same guy that does the Garfield.
It's Lorenzo Music.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Music. I shouldn't know that name, but I do. Okay, Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget. We're almost. done here.
Those pickup things when you got to bend down and
the clamps on a stick. Like
yeah, those
the
reacher things with the little.
The rod with the gripper.
Yeah.
Magnifying glasses.
I guess. Yeah. Anything for old people, really. Just like go gadget extension. So I don't gotta get up. Gumby.
Viagra.
Last one is Gumby.
Cigars.
He's Gumby, damn it. Yeah.
Wrong version.
I was gonna
of Gumby.
say like a Chris Rock Netflix special. Just have Gumby like talk about it and like
Just have
promote
him
it
intro
and
it
promote it.
and just
I don't
have
know.
him
Yeah.
do
Erasers?
Play-Doh.
Just clay. Just clay.
Play-Doh.
It could be anything, even me.
That's why I was thinking
Thomas K in the
erasers
chat.
because you got the crooked eraser.
That's true. Oh, yeah. Eventually the razor goes off to an angle.
Right. Yeah.
Thomas K in the chat said dog obedience school.
Oh, for Scooby?
I guess that was Scooby. That must have been Scooby.
Yeah, maybe.
I thought he sent that in after we said Gumby.
It might have.
I thought Gumby teaching dogs how to be obedient would be interesting.
It might. You know, he probably
Does
should.
he talk?
Gumby, yeah.
He talks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gumby talks. The horse, Pokey talks. Yeah, they all talk on that. I think it's like the bad guys, the blockheads, make like a weird sound instead of talking. Some kind of like broken horn.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
one of
yeah,
these
that was-
nightmarish
that was
things
back
for
in
a
the
little
day.
kid.
Fucked up.
Yeah, like a nightmarish thing for a little kid to
exactly.
handle.
Well, that show was made back in the day when like 4 people decided to make a show like that. You know, and they were all friends, and they ran out of voiceover.
72
skills.
hours for 1 minute of fucking
and very wholesome,
claymation.
too. And very wholesome. Everything had a moral.
Like Davy and Goliath.
Yeah, basically. I think it was Davy.
Okay, Davy.
What would Davy and Goliath sell? Besides Bibles. I was going to say.
Davy.
We got wafers. Red wafers. Are they holy?
Jesus.
For Jesus. Did you ever see Moral Oral?
Well, I think Goliath will sell Davy.
Yeah, on Adult Swim, they did that, which is a, Adult Swim version of Davy and Goliath, where it's all claymation and it's all gosh golly gee, and like the moral goes out the fucking window.
Yeah.
You can only imagine, you know what I mean? But
I remember Mad
Well,
TV did.
Dave's wielding a chainsaw, slicing things in half,
Basically,
blood
stuff
going
like
everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, Mad TV did David and the son of Goliath, like the son of Sam.
Oh,
so the dog
shit.
was talking to Davy.
I think I did see that.
Look at that slut, Davy.
Go kill her.
Go kill her, Davy.
Doesn't she look like she needs to be choked, Davy? And he's like, yeah, I think you're right. All right, so enough of that madness. Thank you, Agent Palmer, for
Thank
that
you.
bit. That was a good one.
Rock and roll.
We had,
That was
we had a lot of fun with that. All right, moving right along. Stephanie Muniz.
Hey,
Steph?
Steffi.
what's up, Steffi?
So she says, hey, yous guys. It's been a while. Work has been keeping me busy, as has podcasting, since taking over all activities related to Gotham Lights. Well, except for the Twitter. Hannah is still all over that. Anyway, I have a fall question, now that we're into October. Even though it's still in the 90s here in Arizona, for those who aren't keeping track, do you have a favorite thing about fall? And if so, what is it?
Halloween, man.
I think
Oh,
so.
I thought she was talking 1990s.
About the because it's still the 90s here and it's out west. It's like any day now, you know.
Any day now, Bon Jovi's going to break up.
Right. Although he's gonna go solo, I swear.
Guns N' Roses will be done.
Yeah, any day now. Axel's gonna come out on time. Yeah, sure. This Chinese democracy album any day.
Not to segue, but you say Axel. I seen a picture of Axel yesterday. You know he's starting to look like Benny Hill.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's really rough.
He's got to stay back on the. He can't go up to the edge of the stage no more.
Yeah, yeah. That guy's not looking good.
He's looking like the guy from Leonard Skinner.
He's looking like he's been on vacation. That's just all. That's just what it comes down to. A long. No one gives a. I don't give a fuck about being thin anymore or anything anymore.
Welcome to the jungle. We got lots of cake.
Lots of treats. So yeah, for fall, I don't know. Like I think Jay's got a good obvious hit. Like right there, that's Halloween. I think for me, it's probably just that general shift where like
You just went through a hot ass summer and you're cooling
now it's getting
off.
cool, and it's like the air kind of changes here, like regionally. Like you can feel it in the air.
Right.
Even though it's just a cool day, it's like no, this is a fall cool day.
Right.
Leaves start dropping and stuff like that. Leaves start changing color. I mean, it's
For me, it means I'm leaving for work when it's dark.
Yeah, well, there's that whole, and they wouldn't know about that either. I think in Arizona, right? They don't observe daylight savings, right?
Well, they're 3 hours behind.
We're still not on daylight savings yet.
There's always a time zone difference, but daylight savings time, I don't think they observe it.
Oh no.
No.
There are towns I think in Arizona
that do, but
that
not
do and don't.
overall.
I think
That's a question back for her.
There you go. Send us another email next week, Steph. There you go.
Yeah, please clarify, Steph. Anyway,
Our
what
internet's
else,
not working.
What else are we talking about now?
With her?
Her air conditioning bill.
That was her. Oof. That's probably up there. No, that was it. That was her one question, really. Just, what do we? Do you have a favorite thing about fall? And if so, what is it?
My birthday. Which is Tuesday, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, no one asked, but whatever.
Jay,
When's your birthday?
we'll have to do a special episode for
Yeah, I'm coming here.
No, we're not starting that. Bob had a big one. We missed his. All right, so we're not going to start.
I made it. I
really.
sent the video in.
I would feel like crap if you started observing other people's after.
You just pissed-
I had 50. I didn't get a phone call from my family until
I
like 2 days later.
I tried my best. I sent the video in for you, and I did
you
a
did.
shot in your honor.
You did.
You see, I
You did.
care.
But my family didn't call me till 2 days later. But then again, in some of their defense, some of them were dealing with a hurricane.
Some
Some are up here.
Some were in the house with you, and didn't,
That's okay.
I don't even know if I said it to you that day.
I like the
No,
shit.
you still haven't said it to me.
And then I
think.
realized it was like a day and a half later, and I was like, now it'd just be like I'd be like a dick if I said it, or at least that's how in my head I'm like, oh hey, happy 50, like.
You could make up for
big
it by
one.
giving me a gift card or something.
Oh, absolutely. What do we got? I got a brand new. Hey, look at that, brand new.
Oh no, I thought the
Is
gift.
his
I
name
said
on
a
it?
gift card, not the gift of a card.
Oh, because that's definitely a brand new Wicked
that's
Theory.
actually a nice looking
business
card, though. That's the new business
Yeah,
card,
new business
Oh
card.
shit!
and actually looks pretty
Would
good.
you
I'll
put-
just put my
you got
glasses
one
on
with his
so I
name
can
on
see
it?
all of it.
Oh no, was I supposed to list this?
Personalized.
Yeah, the Wicked Theory podcast. Popping culture with a rubber chicken.
You Sharpie it in.
1803, really.
What's it say on the back? What do we got on the back?
No sports, no politics, no math. Just unabashed, obsessive.
Speaking of which, how
bringing
about
you
them Devils?
nerd news, comedy, and reviews about the coolest
One
movies,
for one.
TV, comics, and more. Records live every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern at Mixler.com, Wicked-Theory. Get in the chat room.
Motherfuckers. That's what I want. That's what I want to talk about.
Also hear us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google
Well, I'm
Play,
gonna
and
do my
wherever
own
podcasts
cards.
are given away for free.
I'm going to do my own cards, and I'll actually put them.
Well, can I talk over you while you're reading them?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
because I was.
No, you weren't doing a bit. That's going to be my answer now. Anytime someone's trying to do a bit, even if it's me. I wasn't trying to do a bit.
Will you stop interrupting me?
Play it. I think we need it now.
Would you stop interrupting me while I am interrupting you?
Kids.
Welcome to the
kids.
dysfunction, everybody.
So, oh, look at this one. We have a one last email in here. This one is from Sarah Netzley.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Our
Wow,
pal.
where do we
Wow.
know her from?
We know her from the DC TV report, available
Really?
every Saturday at midnight Eastern Standard Time on your
Wow.
pod player of choice.
Very cool.
More or less.
Executive
From
producer.
that, from Entertainment Weekly, from
The
what else is
unnamed,
she-
the unnamed college that she teaches at.
Yeah, she teaches that, and she's also guest hosted and on
Gotham Lights.
On Gotham Lights.
That's right.
All right.
So she says, "Hey, Bill."
A very cool member of the Wicked Theory family.
Newest member. So, hey, Bill, please tell Uncle Jay that Steph and I had a fantastic all-lady Gotham Lights this week with underoos and pillow fights. And absolutely zero menfolk were invited.
Pink lip gloss too.
To Bob, Dom, and Ed, you are the gentlemen of the Wicked Theory podcast, and I tip my lady cap to you. Hugs and kisses, Sarah. P.S. Superman doesn't murder people. And that's it. She's out. In and out like a sniper. I love
Well,
it.
she's got to defend her co-host. I get that.
I'm sure she's got her own opinion. But I thought that was really funny how she called you out because you were like, I don't know. That she's really basically reiterating exactly what you said that day. I thought that was funny.
You were just as guilty as
Oh,
that.
absolutely. We got a little silly. We got a little risque, dare I say. So that wraps up the emails. Thanks to all
guys.
of those who sent them in. If you want to ever send one in, once again, the email address is podcast@wickedtheory.com because it's the Wicked Theory podcast.
Right.
Right.
And, I don't have to explain that, do I?
Right. Did we ever go to the chat room?
We didn't do a chat room game because we only had Wesley in there. And,
Now Tom K's in there.
I didn't want to put too much pressure on him at that time. Wesley, we need like 35 responses to this.
Well, we should have got Palmer on the phone and told him we need 12 people in the chat room. Go
to
find
do
them.
what you can do and get some people in here. Well, I don't know. Maybe Wesley did go out and corral Tom K in here, and that's why Tom K came in. I don't know because we did tell Wesley go see if you can fish some people out of.
Got 195 hearts for just a few people in the chat.
Well, these guys fucking love us.
Thomas K just crushes the fucking heart button. all
Yeah,
day.
he just.
Oh,
Wesley
okay.
too, man.
Yeah. Good.
I'm wondering if they got like that bird, that little toy bird that kind of like it's got the water in it and tips over.
Tips over, keeps going boop 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 boop.
And just keeps hitting
Dude,
the button.
low tech sometimes is the best solution.
That's it, baby.
Well, you need water there too to make that work, right?
Yeah,
That's it don't get more low tech than water.
Yeah.
Some good old quality H2O, baby.
Or Aloha. Oh, that's Dom Torre. I was like, who's in there with a Wicked Theory logo as their image? I was like, oh shit, that's right, it's Dom. Anyway.
Am I allowed to use that image?
No, absolutely.
I mean, you own it.
Your staff.
All right. I don't want to fucking get sued or something.
I don't know. I'm assuming I gave that to you.
Yeah, you don't know these days.
Bill, what about
if
his
your
staff, Bill?
or not, right?
He is firmly on the staff.
Oh, because you said your staff, so I thought maybe you were talking about his staff.
Nah, just that he's
Not his actually being staff.
He fits right in.
So's Dom. Or we don't say that out loud.
Who?
You said Bob's staff.
No. I said.
I think there was a penis joke somewhere in there.
Yeah,
and,
he said,
yeah.
I was trying
no,
too
your
hard.
staff.
Okay.
I was trying too hard to make a penis joke, and it got kind of lost in the shuffle.
Just say the word penis, and it'll be fine.
Penis breath.
Penis breath.
Penis breath. The further adventures of penis breath.
So, Bill, we got new cards, and is there anything else that's new?
Well, there's some DC TV report cards too.
Ooh.
Report cards?
Report cards. That's what it's missing. That's what it should be. It should be like, yeah, grade us. Which, DC TV
Yeah, I
report.
like the logo.
Thank you. I did that.
Yeah, the
myself.
logo is amazing, man.
Thank you.
Really cool.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the cards look really nice.
Thank you.
That's a really good logo.
It's really sharp, right? I mean, I really on these
It's like
cards, I wish
3D,
I should have
but-
lightened the blue a little bit so it came through a little bit better. It's kind of dark. But,
Yeah, I see.
But yeah, I mean, it does justice. It does what it's going to do.
But for the DC TV report, I will be taking a lot of those cards and leaving them at cons. So I hope
Cool.
that Sarah and Ed do get
Some traction from
some
that,
traction because they got a hell of a show going on.
And I actually gave some to a friend of mine who's actually going to Comic-Con this weekend, and supposedly he's going to do his best to kind of throw them around a little bit.
It would be cool if we got a couple of listeners from that.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I also gave him no pressure, so who knows? He might just toss him in the trash pail.
I just said we like it was our show, but it's actually their show, not this show.
Well, fair enough. Hey, it's all in the family.
Oh, your name is mentioned a lot on there.
It's under the
Executive
Wicked Theory
producer.
umbrella.
Yeah, it's all under the umbrella, and I'm the EP, as Jay's pointing out, I guess technically.
See,
although
we
it
can
it really runs on its own, you know. To a
It is.
degree.
They got it. They got it handled.
I just kind of get
I'm
the
gonna guess-
file and I put it in.
Stands for enigmatic producer.
Sure, I like it.
I thought it standed for elongated penis.
At times, when it is,
Oh, okay.
you know,
There's a lot of penis jokes today.
a lot.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe
we might have filled the
elephantine
quota.
penis.
what?
Elephantitis.
Oh,
Yeah,
elephantitis.
elephantine
Yeah.
penis.
Elephantitis of the penis.
I'm familiar with that.
I don't want it up the balls. Like if I get it, I don't want it up
the
the
schnutz.
up the sack. That looks like it hurts. Like the shaft, I'll take that.
Your
Yeah.
testicles.
It would- it would make you look like you're wearing a cup all the time too.
Right there, you go. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough stalling. Let's wrap it up. How about that? We can do that, right?
Yep.
All right, so folks, stick around if you're listening live. We're going to get into an after show a little bit.
Satan.
Satan will be there. As usual, that's what we do. If you ever want to catch the after show, it's only available live or as part of the Patreon, but you can get that for only $1. $1 a month for support gets you all the after show episodes. The library is constantly growing. $3 a month will get you the Patreon monthly exclusives. And then, there's other tiers too. Go take a look at us over there on patreon.com/Wicked Theory. Really appreciate your support.
Thomas K has a question for you.
Why is Bill wanting to take it up the shaft? Because that's where the elevator goes. It goes up the shaft.
Jolly good. Jolly good, sir.
And there's the name of the episode.
There
folks.
you go, up the shaft.
In the lift.
All right.
In the lift.
Dom, where can people find you on the web?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Dom_Torre. That's TORRE. And I just wanted to say,
yes,
if you are listening to this on your podcast app, please come join us every Saturday on Mixler at 7 p.m.
Hey, why not?
Because I'm not begging people. But
we don't beg.
But the turnout was low.
It was low. You know what? We
Tonight?
are up against our one and only
Competitor?
Yeah, competition, really. In that sense, where it's like we share some of the same listeners. So as much as I would love to pull some of the 15 people he's got in his room right now,
So you know what we're going to do?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to have a show.
Oh, shit. What does that mean?
This is Jay.
I know who you are.
This Jay,
Yeah, I
Uncle
know.
Jay.
Right.
Going to do his own Poktoberfest, and we're all just going to take it by storm.
Oh. All right.
All right? I got a year to work on.
Sounds like I don't have much choice.
I got a year to work on.
J-Toberfest.
All right, well, for
J-Toberfest.
There you go.
for more on that, you can follow Jay on Twitter.
That's right. Uncle Jay at Jason Chiglise.
Hashtag J-Toberfest 2018.
There it is. It's going to trend now. J-Toberfest.
Follow now for
man.
updates.
Jesus Christ. Keep an eye, folks. Updates are going to come.
Videos are going to come.
Let me put this into the chat room so we don't forget. You know, J-Toberfest 2018. Hashtag it. Okay, post it. Boom. Okay,
Boom.
it's official.
Unless I'm up for a Golden Globe.
Oh, well, that's different then. Yeah, that's still under wraps. A lot of people don't know about your impending stuff.
yeah,
One day. Nope. I know, but let's tease them with that. Make them wonder why you would say that.
Exactly.
Bob, we're up to you. Where can people find you on the webs?
Right here.
And when you're
at Bob
and when you're not here.
And when I'm not here, I'm at Bob WTPC.
Very good. Very cool. I'm at Wicked Theory. The show is at wickedtheory.com and also on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and all kinds of places where you can get podcasts for free. Do a little search. See if we're on the device that you're using. If we're not on there, get another device. Get another app. Get TuneIn or something like that. Get iHeartRadio. We're on there. And that's going to do it. And that's going to do it for us for right now for this. Like I said, stick around if you're listening. Listen to us live. Check the after show. Find out what we've got planned. Do we have anything planned? Who knows? Maybe not. Probably not. But we'll give it a go anyway. Bob, take us out.
The Wicked Theory podcast is heard live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern until whenever. Just go to mixler.com/wicked-theory. Mixler is MIXLR. Sign up to join the chat. Then click the follow button to get reminders whenever the show goes live. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, wherever good podcasts are given away for free, and at wickedtheory.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/wickedtheory. There you can get the after show if you miss it live. God forbid. Plus other exclusive episodes. As always, send your emails to podcast@wickedtheory.com.